everyone. So today's topic is on basic Git commands. So this topic is completely for the beginners who have a little to no knowledge about this Git commands. So usually in the interviews also we can expect some questions to the developers that what are the Git commands you know. So this can give an idea to the interviewer that how much you are into the project. So this is completely for the beginners, so I have just included very few of them which are the basic things. So let's move on to the first command. So git config. So this is when a new suppose you are a new employee and you are just going to work into the project, so it's already there and you will be given with a url which you should clone. So basically you first need to do some configuration. So you will be given with your office email id, right? So you will be need to set up that git configuration first. So for that we will use this git config and we will use this username and git config global user email id. So this is how we will set a connection with the git repo which is associated with your company. Now the second thing is git init. So git init is nothing but you are actually creating a repository in your local system. So this command is used to start a new repository. The third one is the git clone. So already there is a project and a few of your colleagues have already worked, so you are taking the clone, you are taking the copy of that uh, project, right? So you will use git clone in your system with that url which is specified where this remote repo is existing. So now comes the git branch. So git branch is nothing but when you type this git branch, you will be listed all the local branches in the current repo. Since if we consider the example which I have given, so for the first time you will not see any other branches other than the master branch because you have not worked on it yet. So only the you will not be provided with any of them, but in your meantime when you work on many of other branches, you will be shown with the list of all the local branches in your current repo. So this command is for that. Now git checkout. So you are already cloned with your project and you have this master branch, right? So once the master branch is there and you are asked to do some exercise, like you suppose you are having some add user details page, some update is there in that page. So you have to it's always better to create a new branch for any of the feature update or any of your work, so that you can simply push the changes from the branch to the repo. So it's always better to create a new branch. So git checkout branch name is like we are switching the local focus to that branch. So now in your case when you are starting to do a work on suppose the add user details page, so you are actually creating a new branch. So for that you can use this git checkout hyphen b. So hyphen b is means you are going to create that branch and you are switching to that branch. So git checkout hyphen b is to create a branch and to switch into it. Git checkout branch is to just switch into it. So once you have switched to your new branch, you can add any of the changes. But now suppose you need to pull everything from your remote repo first. Yet before beginning your work you have to pull everything from the what is there, what is actually existing as of now, all the details you need to fetch it first. So once you check out, so git checkout master. So once you check out to the master branch, you will give the command git pull. So once we get all the existing files, then we are actually going to start working on this add user details page. So then you are going to give the command git checkout hyphen b with the branch name like add user details updates something. So then so that there the git pull comes into play. Now git add. So you are making some changes in some of the pages that is there. So add user component suppose you have, so you are going to update some of the details in that, so definitely you are going to have some changes over there. So for have adding the changes into this remote repository, which the whole remote repository, you need to carry out some of the operations like git add. If you are having some update only in one single file, you can mention that file name, git add file name, that's it. But if you have some multiple files that you have to come across while updating, then you have some changes in other files as well, means git add star, so you can give that. Otherwise in Visual Studio Code we can simply have some plus icon or undo icon, so it's all in the Visual Studio, which is more easier for us. But if you are just following the git commands, you can provide this git add star. So this one command adds one or more to the staging area. So this is actually git add is means it's adding to a staging area. Once it is added to the staging area, you have to commit it. Unless and until you commit it, it's not going to be a permanently saved version. So you have to commit it like git commit hyphen m and the message, some sort of message that you are for what you are doing this change, a small and but precise, but it's a meaningful one. Okay, so you'll just provide this message git commit hyphen m. And now, so you have made the changes, add the changes to the staged area, and you have committed it. So you have committed it. Now we have to push these changes to the uh, remote repository, right, which is there in the like server side, you can just consider it. So git push branch means you are going to push this particular branch. Okay, so what is the command is like git push origin, and we will give this branch name. Okay, so this the next few commands is like we have for this git stash itself, some use cases there, like you are doing some changes in this add user, but some issue came up and you have to switch to some other branch and you have to work on it. So all the changes that you have made so far, it will be lost because you will be checking out to the other branch and you will be committing it, so it will be lost, right? So in order to it not lost, it can be retained, but still if you don't want to temporarily lose that any of the something, you don't want to miss any of the data, so there is a thing which you can do is stashing. So for that, all the changes that you have made so far, we can provide this command git stash save, so it will temporarily store all the modified track files, and once you have made the changes and all, you can come back to this branch and you can provide this git stash pop. So this command restores all the most recently stashed files. Otherwise you don't want to do that, you don't want to work anymore on that, so you want to drop it, so you can simply provide the command git stash drop. So there are n number of ways which you can do, so far even I discussed. So git checkout also, right, we are checking out, like we are switching to other branch, that can be done in many ways, but the most simpler ones which I use preferably, so that's what I am explaining in this video. Okay, so git stash is for temporarily storing all the tracked files and to restore it using pop or drop. So the next one is like you have already made add user details changes and you have pushed to the remote repo, but now a small styling issue came. So once people will review, right, once your work is being reviewed, so small styling issue came. So that one, if you want to change, you can simply do one thing. It is like you will add the you will make the changes and you will provide this git add statement command, and then git commit emit no edit, so that it will not create a second commit id. Then it is very simpler. So but you have to be very careful that it should be only for the small updates, because it will not have any separate commit id for that. Okay, so because of that, git commit emit no edit is only used for small updates, and after this we are going to force push it. So git push origin this branch name. Some companies might not support force push because it can trigger some major problems, right? But we are not touching the master branch always. It's always better to don't touch the master branch. whenever some changes request is coming, you have to create a new branch and you have to work on it, so that the master branch is untouched. Okay, so now and because once reviewed only, then only it's going to the master branch. So as a beginner, as a like young software developers, you will not be required to review, or you will not be required to merge anything. So these steps you have to take care of. So for these things, you can simply create a branch and then add the changes and then push that branch. That is the most easy, less complex and safer side. Okay, so for small updates, you can make the changes: git add star, git commit no edit, and git push origin, that branch name, and hyphen f for the force push. Okay, now git rebase. So you have done a change in this add user details, and some other person is also had used this add user details page, but for some other purpose. Okay, now when both your changes are going to the repo, it is going to it's going to raise conflicts over there, because you both have done the changes. So you have to rebase it. So the most easier way is to follow this procedure, like git checkout master branch. Okay, so some companies prefer origins of the it depends on the company what master branch they are using. So git checkout master branch, git pull, whatever changes are there, just pull it, git checkout to your branch. Okay, now git rebase develop. So whatever is there in the develop and what is in your branch, the conflicts will pop up. If you are using Visual Studio, it will be clearly shown, like incoming change, current change, accept both change. Some highlighters will be there. So you need to compare them. You need to compare the incoming change. Probably it will be your change, and the current change will be the repo side change. So it will you have to look into it whether that changes will affect your code change, and if it affects, then how you can resolve it. So that's how you can either accept incoming change, accept current change, accept both change. So the option side will be highlighted in the comparison file itself. So once that is done, you will save it and you will add it. And then you will again give the command git rebase continue, so that you are making sure that no other conflicts exist. So once no other conflict exists, if there will be like a CMD will be open with a like some stating that these are the changes and these were the branches, and so you have to just press this colon and WQ. So you are writing that file. Okay, you are updating that file. So just simply press this colon and WQ altogether, and then once that is done, you can simply force push using this branch, git push origin branch force push. So this resolve that issues. So whenever you are finding this force push, you have to be very careful. But it's not much difficult when you start working on it. When you will be used with it, it will not be much difficult for you guys. So I'm simply giving the basic commands which you anyone, like any the 1 to 2 years experienced people will be working on it, or if someone is switching from some normal work to a developer, like who will be using the git things. So switching people, so for them only this will be useful. Otherwise those people who doesn't know the basic git commands, for them only this will be useful. So that is git rebase. So how to handle this conflicts? Git merge. So this is usually done by the reviewers, the senior developers, who will review and merge this one. So this will not come under the beginners. So I just gave it for as the last command, just to make you know that git merge is a command which will merge this branch to the current branch in the remote repo. That's it. But this is usually done by the senior developers. So that's it, guys. I hope it will be useful for some of you. So this is completely for the beginners and those who are just getting it to know. Okay, so once you, and I also I preferably use Visual Studio Code more for git add and all. It just have this single plus button, so we can simply add it. We need not to give the command. So use the Visual Studio Code and command with this git commands. So I hope it will be helpful, and thank you for going through this session. Please do subscribe my channel. Thank you.